Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I got a new lav mic. We're gonna try that out. Here, I'm gonna clip it in. Testing, 1, 2. Yeah, so it's a mic that's now closer to my face, so that should help a little bit. Anyway, I'm gonna explain a little bit about what I'm doing today. This is a Royal P that I did a Spencerian script swap on, and I was thinking about showing you guys the process. Now, there's many different ways you can go about this. They have jigs and all sorts of different things, but what I ended up doing was melting all the solder using a torch, just a regular old hardware store torch. Melted all the solder on all the original slugs, and I pulled them all off. And while the solder was hot, I scrubbed with the wire brush to get all the old solder off. And then I took every single individual slug and held them in my needle nose pliers, and I hit them with the torch until the solder inside of here melted, and I shook them, and I got all the solder out, because you got to have the solder out of both of the things, the type slug and the type bar, because it wouldn't fit with the solder in there. I got these shims. I don't know, can you guys see them? These brass shims from Coleman Manufacturing, and this is a different way to do it than the jig method because it's kind of quicker. Well, I mean, every way is going to be slow, but what you end up doing is taking these brass shims and you push them inside of the slug like a little taco. So now you got this tight brass shim inside of here. I know it's hard to see, guys, but there's a brass shim, and you come over to the typewriter, and what I did is, you can see right here on the paper, I'll bring you guys in so you can kind of see. You can see this is my slug setup page. Started up here and made my way down here, and it's still a lot of H's. I mean, we're doing a lot of H's, guys. So what I would do is I would hit an H, and once I got the H on foot and centered and it's printing correctly and nice how I like it, I soldered that H in place. So I have this H locked in. So H right now is my baseline. It's my baseline letter. Everything is going to work off of H. So let's say I want to go to R. So what I would do is I would take the shim with the slug. All of these are empty, and I'd slide the R on here. And what I would do is I would carefully bring up the R by hand. This one hasn't been soldered yet. And I'll just push it onto the paper right next to the H. You can see how it's a little high. So I'd come in here and I would tap it down with the screwdriver tip, and then I would do it again. I would hit my H and then bring up my R, press it onto the paper. See, now that's a little better. It's connecting how it should. See, the first R was the one on the left, had that gap right there, and then I just barely pushed down on it, and now it's connected. So now that one's ready to solder in place. So I would solder that in place. And then I would continue to do this to 42 other different things using the H as the baseline. And then, so I'd go to the O. See how it's not soldered in, but it's got the shim in there. The shim will keep this thing wedged in there so that when you go to heat it up and burn it into place, it's not going to move on you. Because if you don't have those shims, the slug is just going to fall. There's nothing holding that shim in. It's just going to slide right off. So let's see what the O is like. Yep, O is still pretty good. I set all of these up. These are all shimmed, all ready to solder in. So the only one I have burned in so far is the H. I'm going to burn in the rest of them right now, and then maybe we'll have a tight test after this. We'll see. But yeah, it's been about 4 hours just to get the slugs on there. It's a slow process. All right, guys, talk to you later.